everyone, it's Robin with Soil and Green Plants, and welcome to our first video of 2020. Any plant resolutions out there? Maybe to check mark off some wish list plants? Maybe to buy less plants? Yeah, right, that's why we're here. So today we're going to talk about Scindapsus, as you can see with my friends in front of me. So these first two are from the Scindapsus pictus cultivar. And this cultivar is probably the most common you're going to see, and these two plants are probably the most common that you're going to find out there. This one is the exotica, and this one is the argyraeus, and I could be butchering that name, I apologize. And then this third one, this is a newer one. This is the Scindapsus trubii moonlight. There is a darker form of this one, but I just haven't been able to get my hands on it yet. And aren't they gorgeous? I love this matte green with the silver inlay. And this one has beautiful silver on the outside. And I think, to me, they just look like paintings. They're gorgeous. So, these are really similar to pothos, but they're not pothos. And they're commonly labeled as silver pothos, satin pothos, silver satin pothos, but they're not. They're Scindapsus. And while their needs are similar, they are in their own category. And these plants, they do make great house plants because how we keep our homes typically is really similar to the range that is found in their natural area, which is Southeast Asia. And these plants, they are commonly found growing up tree trunks. And the neat thing about these plants is they actually shingle. If you don't know what shingle is, it's where they lay completely flat. The leaves lay completely flat on the tree trunk. They get real close together, and they go up. It's really neat. You don't have to grow them like that. You can grow them like this, like trailing. You can put them up on a pole. Anyways, fine. But I do think it's a neat experiment. I think we're going to maybe in a later video make some cuttings from this one and try to get this plant to shingle. So, in their native area of Southeast Asia, they typically grow in part sun to part shade. What does that mean in our houses? Well, that basically means bright indirect light. And I know that that's one of those $1 million questions. What is bright indirect light? Since most houseplants are labeled as bright indirect light. So basically, what I go by is bright indirect light. If you can read a book, if you can write, and not need to turn a light on to do so. And that light is like that for the majority of the day. Now, these plants can probably deal with a little bit lower light, though the leaves will get a little bit smaller and they'll get a little bit leggy. Kind of like this guy right here, you can see. Now, I do have him hanging in my south window, but I have a big overhang on my porch, so that doesn't get as much light as a south-facing window that doesn't have an overhang. Plus, in the summer, I have a huge oak tree canopy around my house. So the soil mix. Since we're going to just do a aeroid soil mix. I've done a video on that before. You can go back and watch that, or I have a blog post on that. soilandgreenplants.com, and we really want a well-draining, chunky soil for these guys. I really appreciate that. Now, when it comes to watering, a lot of that's going to depend on your light. If you have your plant in brighter light, it's going to require more water. If you have your plant in lower light, it's going to require less water. These plants are kind of neat, as you can see with this guy in the middle. You might be looking and seeing how curly his leaves are. They will actually curl in a little bit when they're thirsty. I let this plant go a little bit too long because I've been trying to make this video for a few days and I wanted to have a good example for you guys. But this guy's probably went a little bit too far than I would have liked. I usually maybe do 2/3 of the plant when it starts to curl, but it'll perk right back up once I give it a good drink. And another thing that you can tell that the leaves show, if your air is a little bit dry, the tips of the leaves will get brown. I don't have any of that to show you, but usually that's going to happen in the winter months. Just make sure that it's not by a heat vent or a heat source. The typical humidities for these guys are probably around 40 to 50%. If you do have a little bit of browning leaves, just remember in the summer these are pretty good growing plants. Not quite as fast as maybe a vining pothos or a vining philodendron, but they will pop back. So don't worry about that. Fertilizer. Now, I use with all my plants, I use fish emulsion, and it's really stinky. In the summer, I dilute it down to about half the directions for these plants. And in the winter, I brought my goldfish inside, so I've been watering them with my sticky goldfish water every time, and there's lots of new growth on them. So as long as there's new growth, I'm gonna at least continue with the goldfish water. This is a great plant if you want an alternative to your pothos or your vining philodendron. I think they look a little cooler, maybe a little bit more conversational piece. Not to say anything negative about a standard pothos. A marble queen will absolutely stop me in my tracks. I love that plant, but these they have like a little bit more exotic look to them, and I think that shingling behavior is really cool. I'm really excited to try that out with this plant right here. So this is a great beginner plant. This is a great intermediate plant. All in all, this is a great plant. It's absolutely, they're all gorgeous, and give them a shot. Thanks guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, follow us on Facebook or Instagram at Soil and Green, and keep growing, and we'll see you next time.